Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the Ford Maverick, the F-150 Lightning, and the F-150 and Bronco today. So big news. Let's cover all sorts of stuff. Just wanted to show you Winston, the whole family. We're all back from Florida, still wearing a little bit of Florida gear because we're working in the gardens today. It's the long weekend, so we're getting those gardens up and running. But let's talk all about what you need to know at Ford, what's going on. So big news. We've got the 2022 Ford Bronco, as some of you already know. It's about $3,500 more than the 2021 Ford Bronco. So I'll pass it by on the screen. I built on the Canadian website, but it's the same for the US website. I come in at $3,500 more for the exact same Bronco build as my Badlands, named Bronco Bits, and that's without putting the full steel bumper on. Otherwise, we're just ever so slightly at $4,000 more. So with the adjustments of equipment, you're looking at a $3,500 to $4,000 increase. And why is this important? Well, this is important for all Ford order holders or future buyers of Fords, because they're all orders these days, basically, unless you want to pay over MSRP for something that's on the lot, which has become almost the norm everywhere across all manufacturers. But here's the thing, you've got to know about price protection. So let me tell you real quick about price protection. I do have a full 15-minute video on that. But when you go with price protection, if the vehicle can still be ordered as of this model year, so not the Bronco and not the Maverick. So for the Bronco and the Maverick, if you're ordering now, what you need to do is rate up. One of your first questions when you arrive at the dealership is, will you sign a sheet saying that the first available 2023 price on the internet, that's the MSRP, so suggested retail, manufacturer suggested retail price, that I will get that price and the interest rate. And this is pretty cool because not all manufacturers, for example, at GM, when you order, basically if you're ordering a 1500 right now, they're going to be telling you, well, the price should play around a bit around this. We can't guarantee anything. We'll see what it costs and what the interest is when it comes in. So you could order, and let's say you ordered, 6 months ago and your GM just came in. Well, you're probably getting the surprise that the price went up, just like the prices have gone up at Ford. And on the F-150, prices are about to go up by $3,000. Now on the Canadian side, that was supposed to be for this Wednesday. And probably because the website wasn't, the build and price website didn't get put into function in time, well, this has been delayed. It's not going away. The $3,000 increase is coming. So for the Bronco, Maverick, these are vehicles that you could say are sold out. So if you do find a dealer that allows you to, put down, let's say a small deposit, some dealers will put you in line so that the morning of, let's say, for example, if it turns out to be August 17th for the Maverick, well, the morning of, in order, they'll drop everybody's order, their particular build in at the according and appropriate time. Now, some dealers don't want to do this because with the changes to the 2023 model, they don't want to have to redo the work in case your color is no longer available. Now, I'd love it if people in the comments section for either the Maverick or the Bronco or the F-150 Lightning tell me what color they feel is the best color for the model. So for me on the Bronco, I'm really in between antimatter blue. Ford, please bring back that color and please keep the green for 2023, because if ever I get after my whole Lightning switch up, which I'm taking my Lightning antimatter blue, I think that is an incredible color on the Lightning, and I'll show a picture of what it looks like on the Bronco. Sad that that color went away, but please bring it back and please comment what you think for your particular Ford that interests you. What is the best color for that model? Some colors, I think Area 51, for example, I love it on the Maverick. That's what Marie's getting for her Maverick, but I actually wasn't a huge fan of it on the Bronco. It's not a color that I like to see on a huge canvas. But please let us know in the comments. Back to more important news than just talking colors. The Lightning. How do orders work? I get a lot of questions about this, and a lot of people are wondering, how come my dealer hasn't called me yet to build my Lightning? Well, that's because the Lightning list is huge. They got around 200,000 orders in the system right now. And for year one, they're going to build somewhere around 20 to 30,000. For example, my local dealer is getting 10 or 11 for year one. Year one, you could almost call is like a demo year. The ones you see on the road, it's almost like publicity models. There's so few of them compared to the overall orders. So most everyone, the huge majority, are going to be getting a 2023 despite, unless you ordered within the first hour of when the orders could be made. If you ordered day 2 of when the Lightning Reservation Bank opened up, you're almost certainly going to be a 2023. And, well, I don't think this is a model that's going to have price protection. I'm pretty sure how it's going to work is once the order banks for 2023s open up, actually even more so, it's when your dealer calls you, because dealers get blocks unlocked. So they'll be told, oh, you can call up, for example, 10. Take 10 from your list, have those clients come in, have them build the exact Lightning that they want, then that is when your price is going to get locked in for the Lightning. And make sure that your dealership signs their name. You know, some dealers won't want to make a purchase offer. It's a piece of paper, one page, and you don't need a serial number to print this off. You just need to know what the model is. Your name shows up, the dealership's name shows up, the price, the interest rate, the monthly, if you're going for a monthly, if you're financing or if you're leasing, and there's a spot for them to sign. They can print this out, but if they don't want to, well, that's something to worry about. At least get them on your order that they sign beside the price. This is the price or this price is price protected, and that they sign. Now, dealerships can do price protection on the Lightning once, you know, you've been unlocked to build yours. So they need to sign for that. Now, back to the Maverick and the Bronco. For the Maverick and the Bronco, they're sold out as 2022 models. So you need to get the dealership to sign when you build and, you know, put your order in, or what you ideally want, as long as it's still there once we know what we can get on a 2023, because some colors will be added, some colors will be lost, small minor adjustments. You still need them to get to sign. They can't promise you the 2022 price, and they can't lock that in at this point. What you need them to sign is that they promise that they will give you the first available internet price on a 2023. So the new Mustang, moving on, putting the pedal to the metal, you could say. The new Mustang is, some people are going to find it awesome. Some people are going to be a little disappointed that it doesn't move away enough from the current model. I've heard, the comment, the back looks a little bit too much like a Camaro. The front looks a little bit too much like a Charger. Well, it looks like there's good chances what I'm going to be putting on the screen. Ford Authority got that for us. They're fantastic, by the way. If you love a good read, join Ford Authority. They've leaked these photos, and that's very likely the front of the Mustang. I'm going to keep an eye on this story, but so far it looks like the new Mustang isn't going to be a huge breakaway from the current Mustang, because it looks like for now, I'm thinking, it looks like we're not getting a all-wheel drive hybrid format. Now, that was a lot of rumors were around that, because this is using the same platform as the Aviator and Explorer, which, Explorer has a hybrid, the Aviator comes as a plug-in hybrid. So we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe that's something they'll do as a mid-model refresh. Just like I'm hoping from the Maverick, the mid-model refresh is at least an all-wheel drive hybrid, or what I'd really love to see is a plug-in Maverick. But I'll be following that story, because here at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, I'm here to help, and I want to make sure that I get all the relevant information. And that's cool, because at the end of this video, talking about relevant information, I also like to do interesting stories. So we're going to hear from a really great and amazing story about the first vehicle, or at least the very first Ford vehicle. It's supposed to be the first vehicle that arrived in Venezuela. Very cool story from my friend Orlando. Canadian on the road, what do? Well, we make friends. So I made friends with Orlando, and he was very cool, and a very cool story coming up. So make sure to watch then, and after that we'll be talking about some news in regards to Ford's Garage. That's a restaurant, and the news there, I'll go into details about what what these restaurants are, the Ford Garage, but there's going to be 10 new locations this year, and the Ford Garage franchise hopes to have 10 to 15 added on to the franchise in the US every year. I'd love to see this come to Canada, and I'll tell you why at the very end of the video, because they are very cool restaurants. But why is this great news? Well, it's great news, I guess, because while we wait long periods of time for our Ford orders, This is a great place to get great food at a reasonable amount of time. And it also has some really cool Ford memorabilia and vehicles and whatnot, but we'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Let's just hear from Orlando and the first vehicle to show up in Venezuela. You know, our special edition of letting the locals loose, because I'm really finding some incredible stories from locals. This has got to be one of the most interesting automobile stories I've seen. And of course, we're in front of Ford's garage, so we'll do a little segment on that. But first, let's get to this incredible local, Orlando, and he's going to talk to us about the first Ford that showed up in Venezuela.
So my name is Orlando Anzola. I was born in Venezuela. My grandpa's cousin, Edgar Anzola, was the first person that bought a car to Venezuela. The first Ford car, a torpedo, a Ford Torpedo or Ford T, was the first car that came to Venezuela, and it was my grandpa's cousin who came to Venezuela and brought that car.
And we bump into him just because we saw this Ford's garage here, and we said, wow, that looks like a really interesting place. And who knew we'd find a really interesting gentleman. And actually, this is our second kind and interesting gentleman, because our other gentleman, Lewis, he actually explained us all about this whole concept to having a Ford restaurant, Ford themed restaurant where you can get great food, great craft beer. They've got a full bar and some apparel. So we'll talk more about that in just a moment. So like and subscribe, because, well, we're going to be hopefully continuing to bump into some really interesting locals on letting the locals loose.
Yeah, and I do the inspection, the construction inspection for this project. It just happened to be this project. So
yeah.
For me, it's goosebumps. You know, I got photographs of my cousin, my grandpa's cousin, bringing that car to Venezuela and driving it. People in Venezuela were like, what is this? You know, the noise, you know, it was just no horses pulling the car. It was just an incredible story.
And actually, you showed me on, I'm gonna have to drop the link in the video, because Orlando showed me actually some original film footage from Argentina when Venezuela, where this Model T was driving around and looked like it was really driving along. It looked like almost like a great grandfather to the Bronco, because this was going through rivers, going through some really rocky terrain. And you know, those original Fords were really known for being able to take care of, you know, originally they were made to be able to bring farmers everywhere and anywhere they needed to be. And I guess that's that was the experience with that family vehicle.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So good, amazing chance upon amazing chance, because we just happened to be driving by. He happens, as a general contractor, to happen to be lucky and get this project that he's really excited about. And we got really excited driving by, and it was just, you know, everything matched up. And that's what we've been finding on this vacation. We've just have had just incredible luck meeting really cool, friendly, nice people. So thank you so much. I'll put Winston down, the co-host.
Nice
really
meeting
appreciate
you.
it. Nice meeting you. So we're back from being completely poured on, still pretty wet. But anyways, back to the story. This is Ford's garage. It's a grill, it's a bar, you can buy apparel, and they've got really cool, I don't know how to say, but Ford parts. You know, it's the type of place that has engines on the wall, old gas pumps. So this is definitely a must-see. Now, Florida has 18 Ford's garage, and there's a few more opening up across the country, but this is definitely our type of grill restaurant to come eat at. They've got craft beer, so that's Marie and I are sold. So we're gonna try to find one of these on our way back. But what's really cool about this type of place, it started in 2012. I think it's a great initiative from Ford, because Ford has always, you know, they've always talked about how vehicles bring families together. And what's the other thing that brings families together? Meals. So why not combine the two? And it's a very entertaining place, you know, when you can bring your grandfather who can talk about the engine on the wall and how cars used to have 28 horsepower, or, you know, a grandparent that might say, I bought one of these in the 1950s. So really cool vehicles outside. If we look over here, we've got a nice red four-door. And these vehicles, you know, the Ford's original Model T was actually made for your everyday man. It was made so that a farmer could take these vehicles everywhere. And it's incredible. You know, if you follow our little series on letting the locals loose, you'll see that Orlando was talking about the first Ford in in Venezuela. And that actually, he has got footage. It's not his own channel, unfortunately, but there's footage of his grandfather's cousin just driving around this thing through rivers, streams, over rocks. And this thing was a big hit. Now, his grandfather's cousin is very interesting because he was actually involved in getting airplane manufacturing going on down there, from what I understood from him, as well as the first radio broadcasting. So we are meeting some really cool people on this trip. We're seeing some really cool places, and it's just awesome because when you have a Ford Bronco, it just seems like people are really open and ready to talk to you about Ford stuff. It's sort of like a conversation starter. And you know, we met Orlando just by pure coincidence, just driving by, and he saw, you know, he's the contractor here, and he got this contract purely by coincidence. He wasn't even gonna come to check the place out today because of all the, well, we've had little bouts of severe rain. And you know what, he just last moment felt like he should be here, so it was meant to be that he's on the channel. And definitely huge shout out to Lewis, who talked to us about the whole setup of this type of restaurant. Now, I believe there's only one Ford's garage, which is actually pretty much connected to a dealer. It's right beside the actual dealer. But this, for dealers out there that are maybe watching this channel, I think this is an incredible initiative. If you actually put one of these as part of your garage, beside, or even across the street, this is the type of place that you can tell a client that has maybe an unexpected repair, and they say, you know what, do my brakes, I'll wait. Well, how cool would it be to say, you know, here's $5 off to go over to the grill, and they can go pick themselves up a lunch or a supper. Either way, it's probably a great place to eat. So Marie and I are actually gonna have to come and do our best on the way back to up north. We need to find one of these, hunt it down, and eat one of their burgers. I hope you'll join us for that. And you know, if you want to join us for that, or if you want to just not miss out, or if you want to, of course, feed this poodle, he's out in the rain here, all cold. If you want to dress this poodle, you just need to like and subscribe. If you want it to smell like home, I guess you end up sleeping in or chilling in a suitcase. That's right, Winston. Yeah, you got your toy, you got the smell of our own house. So good idea. We stopped at Yankee Candle, and thank goodness, because when we showed up here, it's cool, not bad. You know, we've got a kitchen. This is just a place to sleep so we can be on the beach, drive on the beach. And we've got a kitchen, but the smell was a little rough. So Marie isn't that impressed.